Howdy friends, this is PelicanMan bringing you another Death and Taxes video in Modern. So for anyone who watched my last video, I was testing out the new Neon Dynasty cards in Lion Sash and Eiganjo City of the Empire. They were pretty impressive. The league was about the average league I've been experiencing playing Death and Taxes on Magic Online, but the next thing I want to do is test some more cards in Neon Dynasty. I acquired these right when the set dropped, so they were very hard to get my hands on, but I managed to get them. So now that the bit of time has passed, I'm able to get more cards. So for anyone who pays close enough attention, you'll see my modern decks on the side here. I'll normally have a bunch of Death and Taxes decks and some other spicy things that I'm just keeping lists for. What you may commonly notice is a lot of them will have Death and Taxes, which is my standard Arbiter list, Death and Taxes, which is normally an 80 card variant with Yorion, and Death and Catalyst, which is normally an Arbiterless list. I like the little play on words there of Death and Catalyst kind of rhyming with Death and Taxes. But so I thought, what better way to test the new Neon Dynasty cards and to test Death and Catalyst than by going the opposite, right? So if we're not running the cat, what do we run? The dog. So I'm going to test 4 Spirited Companion in this list. The most interesting thing about Spirited Companion is mostly that it draws a card, which is something we don't normally get to do. The fact that it's enchantment's kind of cool. We're not actually utilizing that here, but that is room to potentially test in the future. The thing we're most excited about here is the fact that this just wears equipment really, really well. So we're going to try and play into that here with this list, along with a few of the other things we're trying. So the mana base has stayed much the same from the previous video, but without Leonin Arbiter, we are less reliant on Ghost Quarter, because obviously we can't combine with that. So for the decks where we need land destruction, we are going to lean on Field of Ruin and put that up to a full 4 copies, and we're also going to run full 4 copies of Mishra's Factory. So in my Arbiter list, these are a 2-2 split, so now these get all of the 8 color slots. Now there is obviously a consideration to run more white sources over some of the colored sources, which is definitely an option. I just think when we're at the point where we're wanting to utilize all that white mana, namely for Lion Sash, because it loves just having only white mana, at that point, I'm fine using mana to animate a Mishra's Factory, and ultimately Field of Ruin can turn into a white source, so I think it's kind of fine. The rest of the mana base stayed the same. We've got 3 Canopy lands, 1 Eiganjo City of the Empire, still got the Eiganjo Castle. Ultimately, I think I'm better off just having this be a Plains, but I'm willing to keep testing it, I suppose. 2 Cave of the Frost Dragons, which I really, really like, and the one of Amiria's Call, which it and the Eiganjo, I think, can just be basic planes. I don't think it really matters. This is probably the more important to be able to pitch to Solitude, but I don't think it really matters. So another thing is we've got a bit more room. So, well, we do and we don't have a bit more room. So when I was designing this list, normally there's 10 removal slots. Instead, here we're using 8 because we're not using Path to exile at all. So I filled the extra slots with Esper Sentinels because, you know, don't need as much removal because it can draw you cards and draw you towards removal, and I actually really like a 2 of Esper Sentinel. I just normally can't fit it in my other lists. So I've got my Give of Runes, my Eighth Vials as normal. But what happened was then I kept working on the list and I made some choices, which maybe the Esper Sentinels need to just come out of the list so I can go back to 4 copies of other cards. But I actually trimmed a Thalia, so I'm only on 3 Thalia. The 4th Thalia is now a Lion Sash. This is going from a kind of stock standard build of taxes, right? And instead of my 4th Skyclave apparition, I've opted for 1 Cloudsteel Kirin. So this is another new card from Neon Dynasty that I'm testing out, which seems a little odd in that, like, you'll see the equipped creature as flying and you can't lose the game, your opponents can't win the game, and think that is the only reason I'm running it. It's actually just a 3 mana 3/2 flyer, so, you know, this wears the Lion Sash really well. It's just a good creature on rate for this deck. You know, it's just putting any equipment on it's kind of good. So I'm interested in testing it. Ideally, it should be tested over a Flickwisp because it's, you know, that 3 power flyer slot. But I still value Flickwisp very highly. So I think if you want to try this, maybe try it over the Flickwisp. I just think part of my strength in taxes is Flickwisp line, so I'm really trying to hold on to that. As for Thalia, I just think that Storm basically this deck doesn't exist anymore. And then there's the Blitz decks that are the other reason we'd want Thalia, and Thalia just isn't that good against them. We've got a lot of anti-red stuff in the board that kind of deals with them better, so I'm willing to test going down on Thalia because, yeah, she's legendary, so the 4th copy is kind of loose unless you're versing those decks specifically, so I've cut down. Still got the full 4 Stoneforge. Still got the Force Solitude, obviously. Still got the Kelder Complete. But we've actually taken out Batterskull and replaced it with Shadow Spear. The main reason, there's two big reasons for this. One, it costs a lot less mana overall. It's not relying on Stoneforge surviving or whatever, but like if we shoot for Batterskull and we try and just cast the Batterskull, you know, if Stoneforge dies or whatever, it costs 5 mana and then 3 mana to bounce, 5 mana to play. Worth it, but it costs that. Whereas Shadow Spear costs 1 to play and then 2 to equip, which is very fair. So we can like be activating our Lion Sash while still equipping Shadow Spear. You know, this equips to a Spirit Companion varies if you're like a little 2/2 lifelinker, which is fine. Yeah, I'm just trying to like hedge on just being able to equip stuff more, like put a Lion Sash onto something and then maybe a Shadow Spear onto something. That's why I'm back on Maul the Skyclades as well. Just putting Maul on a Spirit Companion makes a 3/3 flyer, which is cool. And yeah, obviously Stoneforge can find the Lion Sash, you can find the Cloudsteel Kirin if need be. The other thing that interests me about Cloudsteel Kirin is that maybe we can slow down some of the unfair matchups. You know, like normally I would, against like Belcher and stuff, I would hedge on, maybe not necessarily Belcher, but like unfair combo decks, I would hedge on Arbiter Ghost Quarter, being able to just like sometimes get lucky and stop their combo while we get aboard and kill them. So here we're less likely to do that because we're a little bit slower. I don't think we're as aggressive, though we do have Mistress Factories. But I'd hope we can slow them down enough to just reconfigure a Cloudsteel Kirin onto something, and then, you know, they can't win the game, which like any fair deck will just laugh at that. But I think the unfair decks, we can potentially slow them down to the point of reconfiguring a Cloudsteel Kirin and that legitimately being a way to play. So I'm testing the main deck to see if it's relevant like that. I don't think it's worth being in the board and boarding in because it's not going to be like a crazy insane card in those matchups. I think it's just a fine body that happens to do that. As for the sideboard, I've cut my Kataki again. I have a love-hate relationship with the Kataki. So I've just got the 3 Relic Waters for the Affinity Style matchups, which I expect to see a little more. 3 Dranith's Magistrate for any of the Cascade matchups. 2 Forge Centers for the Fury matchups. Sanctifier for any of the red and or black matchups. And we're testing out 2 March of Otherworldly Light. This is a card that could be played in the main deck, so maybe cut the Esper Sentinels for them, or, you know, maybe some Skyclaves. I don't know. It could definitely see play in the main deck. I'm running in the board because I'm not sold on the power level of this card, so I'm running in the board basically so that this is like, because I don't have Ghost Quarter stuff, this is like my anti-Urza Saga tech, because I can just pop an Urza Saga for a single white mana, which I think is a very, very good upside of the card. And yeah, just against like matchups where we need lots of removal, it's a very fine removal spell. It's probably better than a lot of other options we have, so definitely interested to test it. Not as interested in testing in the main. And then for the last 2 slots, normally I'd have 2 Phyrexian Revoker. Last league, I just realized I just kind of want Pithing Needle, so I'm just going to run Pithing Needle. It seems bad because you can't file it in, whatever else, but I think I'm just happy with Pithing Needle. And then I've also got a 1 of Relic Progenitors. We normally run Rest in Peace because we have access to Lion Sash, but I still want to run the Relic. I think it works really nicely with Lion Sash in that, like, normally, like, tapping Relic is basically flavor text, and it's something that just you can technically do, but it's not doing anything. Like, any of the decks that care about their graveyard are going to vomit stuff into the graveyard too fast for you to stop with Relic. Whereas I think Relic and Lion Sash can legitimately combine to, like, actually, like, pick apart someone's graveyard. So, interested to try that. Also, both of those also combine nicely with Sanctifier in those matchups, right? Where Sanctifier's taking out a large chunk, and then these can kind of, like, poke and prod and finish off the rest of it. Something worth noting here, so again, like I was saying before with my deck list on the side, Death and Tails is essentially this same list. I think there's some different, I don't know, I haven't updated this since I like picked up the March of Otherworldly Lights, but like running Urza Saga, right? Because what I've done with my Catalyst list is I've got a Shadow Spear over a Batterskull, I've got a Pithing Needle over a Phyrexian Revoker, and I've got Relic over Rest in Peace. So like there's a lot of these really good Saga targets anyway, so if you like this list, if this list happens to do well and you think it looks good, or you can make some tweaks, whatever, but there's a very, very easy tweak in just like straight up replacing these Mistress Factories with Urza Saga. I plan on testing, so I'm not sure when Neon Dynasty is legal. I plan on testing this kind of list in paper at some point. Obviously I won't be able to test any of these cards yet, But testing the configuration of like having this Needle in this relic, having this Shadow Spear, doing those things, and just like, running similar plays. Like I think I'm going to test Squadron Hawks here. I'm going to, keep the 4th Thalia, keep the 4th Skyclave. I think these are going to be Aven Mind Sensors for whatever reason. But what I'm planning on doing in that list is running 3 Urza Saga along with 2 Mystery Factory and 2 Field of Ruin, and just running an extra white source, which is something I will test as well in paper once the cards are legal, to kind of see what it's like, going down to 7 colorless sources. The reason I'm not going to test it online necessarily is because Urza Saga is just very expensive and I don't have any. So if it's interesting, I might actually try and borrow the Urza Sagas or rent them and see how it goes. But for now, we're going to try and avoid Urza Saga for the sake of my budget. So with that said, let's try out this list and get into a league. Okay, we win the die roll. Let's get into match number 1. This hand's pretty barren, but I do get to play turn 1 Mystery Factory Aether Vial. Stoneforge is going to be a very good thing to play or vial in, so I'm going to keep. Just going to start with the Mistress Factory and Aether Vial and pass. Depending on what we draw, like if we draw a creature or something. Oh, okay, so we're going to be against a Belcher style deck, probably. I mean, they're not necessarily the only deck that can run this, but it's probably more than likely that they are a Belcher deck. Okay, another Mistress Factory. So I think I'm just going to play out the Stoneforge here and get the Cloudsteel Kirin, because this will be a perfect time to test it out, right? Although we don't currently have any ways to slow them down. So maybe I should play Canopy to pop Canopy there. I don't think attacking with Mistress Factory this turn is correct. Let's play the Stoneforge. It's very unlikely that our opponents want anything but Belcher, so yeah, Cloudsteel Kirin is the choice. Be very interested to see if they play anything that says anything. Okay, they just play another Spikefield. Okay, that I mean, it's not a real land, so there's still a very good chance they're Belcher, but like there could be a deck with 2 Spikefield hazards. Value is a really good draw. I don't think I want to play the Cloudsteel Kirin yet. I think I just want to get in with Factory. So let's play another Factory. Oh god, I nearly did this wrong again. I'm pretty sure this is the older one. Yep, nice. Pump it up. Get in. And then we're going to vial in our Thalia, which means tap the vial, not click on the Thalia. So this should slow them down by at least 1 turn. We've got 3 lands in play. So next time we can vial in the Kirin, the turn after we can equip it to probably our Thalia. The unfortunate thing here is a Fury's still going to be pretty good against us. They shock for a Shatter Skull, the Hammer Pass. They play Pyromancer Ascension. Okay, it's interesting. So we are going to take the vial up to 3. So we're going to use that to cheat our Kirin into play. We draw Plains. Okay. So I think the best thing we can do here is Field of Ruin them to slow them down, and then we can get in with the Factory still. I don't think it matters which one. Okay, pop their land, get a Plains. They should fail to find. Awesome. Oh, I forgot to animate my Factory. That's fine. So if they survive on 2, we'll know we messed up. Alright, they scoop it up. That's kind of sad that it seems like the combination of Thalia and Field of Ruin's what beat them there. But, because I don't know if they need to scoop there. Well, they're on 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, they're just dead to attacks next turn. Okay, that's really fair. They are just dead to our attacks next turn. Okay, so they're Belcher, probably. Okay, so they're almost definitely Belcher. So the Python Needle looks good. They should have Furies. Right, they've got Furies in the board, so they're almost definitely coming in. I kind of actually want to bring in Sanctifier as well if I can. Just as something good to put Cloudsteel Kirin on. Jeez, it's kind of tough, huh? I think... Do I want Relic Water? Probably not. Relic Water is literally only good against like a fair Belcher, but maybe I can bring it in and cut the Skyclaves. Okay, so Relic Water is definitely just better than Skyclave. Solitude shouldn't really do anything, except like if they get a fair Fury into play. Spirit Command seems good. Lion Sash not at its best. Give is fine. Esper Sentinel's fine. Let's try trimming a Vial, trimming a Giver, And then what? Cut Solitudes. I mean, I probably don't need Shadow Spear. Yeah, I don't need Shadow Spear. I don't need Maul. We'll trim 2 Solitudes and just leave 2 in for like a Fury that resolves. Nearly ran out of time in sideboarding there. Okay, this hand's got Thalia, it's got Relic Water. This might be fine, because Thalia will force them to play a fair Belcher. And I've got Fields of Ruin, so that's a good reason to keep as well. Opponent's Mulligan to 5. Okay, they keep their 5. Spikefield Caves their turn 1. We're just going to play out some Cave of the Frost Dragons. If I'm ever going to see 2 Cave of the Frost Dragons, I want it to be opener. Okay, let's get Thalia down. So this should once again frustrate our opponent a little. I think that mulling so low means that a Fury's not going to be great for them. So I'm just going to take out that green source. I'll get a Plains. They will probably fail to find, yep. Nice. We'll play an Esper Sentinel and just get in with the Thalia. So even if they do manage to play around our Thalia a little here, they're going to have to give us cards with Esper Sentinel, assumedly. Okay, they have the Fury, that's annoying. Do you have another land opponent? Manamorphose, sure. Another Manamorphose, okay. What did they pitch to the Fury? They've Reforged the Soul, okay. I think they run 2 of those now, right? Oh, well, that's a pretty good draw. Do I play a naked Relic Water to just start getting in? I think I do at this point. They're so far from playing a Belcher now. Spirited Companion, hell yeah. Let's go. Okay, we drew a land. So the question is whether I want to play this as a land or you save it for a spell. I don't even know what I'm asking. I've just got so many lands. There's no point playing it as land, right? I know that I called the list Death and Cat list, but there's the Cat Nombo right there. This was a reason to hold on to the Relic Water. Ooh, Thalia. I was going to animate a Cave of the Frost Dragon here, but I'm much happy just playing Thalia. That's 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think I'm just going to pop a Canopy here, which I suppose I'll do now. Guess I'll play out an Aether Vial. Get in. Alright. Opponent does have another land. Good on them. Tick Vial up to 1. Draw a Flicker Wisp. Jeez, now we're drawing spells, huh? Did I just flicker this treasure? That's just land destruction still, isn't it? Yeah, so I'm just going to do the same thing as last turn. Because next time I can still play land and animate the Cave of the Frost Dragon, I'm just going to draw a card first. Forge Tender is really good. Protect us from any top decked Furies. Okay, so we're going to flicker out their treasure. I suppose I could have held the Forge Tender to vial it in, but I don't think I need to trick my opponent with it. This has got to be game, surely. I'm attacking with the Cave next turn. Got Thalia in play, got Forge Tender in play. Got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 power just on the board. Spikefield Hazard the Thalia in their turn? Yeah, it's just fine. That is just fine. The reason I didn't sack Forge Tender there is because a Fury would have still absolutely destroyed us, whereas they are just dead now, so which one am I animating? As long as I animate the right cave. Yep, nice. Attack with all. And they're dead. Alright, 2-0 in match number 1 against Belcher. Like, cutting a Thalia, cutting Arbiters entirely, not having things like Archon of Emeria. Not having Ghost Quarter, and we beat Belcher. Not because of our sick tech in Cloudsteel Kirin, but I'll take it. Let's get on to match number 2. Okay, match number 2. Our opponent gets to be on the play. Sound looks good. I don't know, it's hard to think a hand's not good when this could be literally anything, you know? We are going to keep, our opponent's going to keep. We're all going to have a fun game and not thoughtseize each other. Spirebluff Canal into Darcy. Okay. Not scared of that. Turn 1 Aetherfire, let's go. And I'm assuming they're Blue-Red Murktide, so I am just going to play a turn 2 Aether Vial as well. Because I am scared. Okay. They consider... They're just going to get in for 1. Sure. I will tick up my vial, thank you. Oh, Mistress Factory. We will just play our Aether Vial and pass. Our opponent's fetching in our end step, getting an island. This is going to be another consider. No? Okay. Don't know why they got a basic there. To get in with Darcy. I'm not going to let them potentially just bolt my Giver of Runes for free. But I will vial it in their end step. So if they want to bolt it, here's their chance. There it is. Okay. Tick both of our vials up. And we drew more of the Skyclaves. Okay. Everyone has 4 cards in it. I kind of don't want to blink here, so let's just pass. I could Violin the Companion and try and put a Maul on it, but I think he's just going to die, and he still doesn't get out of bolt range. Our opponent casts Serum Visions. They put 1 card on top. Oh, those with the Surveil. No? Okay, they're resolving their scry now. That's how that works. 2 cards on top. Okay. Ooh, Murktide. Okay. They choose not to attack. Okay, I am just going to put my Spirited Companion in here. I was actually going to wait till I could be holding up a Violin 3 to protect with Flick Wisp, potentially draw a card, but I'm just going to be happy to flicker this Murktide Regent. Solitude's not a bad pickup either. Okay. So, ticking both our vials up. Drew Thalia. Thalia's cool. I'm definitely playing my land. I'm just going to Violin the Thalia. Maybe I should have done it in response to their fetch. I probably should have waited for them to fetch, just so I could make sure they couldn't cast a 1-drop. This is fine. Got a very stacked hand. Expressive Iteration. Sure. Cost them 3 whole mana. That bauble costs 1, friend. Yeah, they put a bauble in exile and now they're just realizing that they can't just play that for free. They have to fetch and pay 1 whole mana for it. Mishra's bauble is a little bit less good at 1 mana. Still pretty good. We've got 4 card types in, so Darcy is a flyer also. Okay, so we'll Violin, Flicker Wisp. We'll Flicker the Murktide, so that'll shrink. And we'll trade with the Darcy. Because my opponent had to tap out, that let us get away with that. Fetching and shocking, so they've got another Darcy here, or yep, there's the monkey. Alright, Murktide's back. So we're going to take both files up again. We're going to try and get this one to 5, and we're just going to leave this one on 3 now. If that was an untap lane, that would have been really, really good for us. So I think what I'm going to do is just put this Maul on the Spirited Companion and just threaten their Murktide. We are not going to attack. So this can trade with the Murktide now, which is dope. Okay, they have a Darcy. Got a fair few cards in hand. It's a little scary. Cannot wait for the Solitude to come down. And this Cave of the Frost Dragon is going to be good against this Darcy if I can draw another land to animate it. Value's already good against the Ragavan. Alright, opponent's just chilling. We're okay with that. So we'll tick that one up. Leave that one on 3. Ooh, and we drew the land. Okay. Well, I don't have to do anything here, but I can. The Darcy has to attack next turn. Just gonna chill, I think. The Darcy has to attack into this Spirited Companion. I'm not really scared of this Murktide anymore. Okay. We will eat that, please. So they've got nothing in hand, huh? Okay, I think I'm just going to Violin Solitude, take out Murktide, and start getting in. Or do I take out Ragavan? I'm just taking out Murktide. Okay, let's leave the vials alone. We drew a Spirited Companion. Oh, I love him so much. I think the play here is just quit Maul to Solitude and get in some lifelink, huh? We'll leave Spirited Companion back to block. Ooh, that feels good. Play Doggo. Draw a 3 or 5 drop or a land. That's also fine. Alright, pass it back. This feels like it's got to be close to game over. There we go. Alright, game 1 in the bag, baby. That was sick. So I like Relic here. I like Forge Tender. I like Sanctifier. I like March of Otherworldly Light. I think that's it. Just those 8 cards. So what don't we like? Skyclave's fine. Solitude's fine. I think I can see cutting Flicker Wisp here. This isn't a Cloudsteel Kirin matchup. Spirit Companion just seems very good. Thalia's fine. Shadow Spear's probably not necessary. I like my vials. I like my givers. Do they still run Archmage's Charm? If so, I might just cut Keldra. They no longer run Archmage's Charm? Wow, so Keldra's really good. We've got to get something. I like Maul as our, like, flyer. Spirit Companion just seems really, really good. Maybe just Esper Sentinel. I like Lion Sash. Maybe I don't need to bring in all this. Like, maybe I don't need March of Otherworldly Light. That's probably right. They've just got Ragavans and Darcys that I can deal with them otherwise. Probably still good. It's just tough. I like keeping all my solitudes just because Murktide is a bastard. Yeah, let's leave out. Oh, maybe March is just better than Skyclave. I mean, not better, but let's just cut our Skyclaves, leave in Shadow Spear. Okay, let's try that. Shadow Spear's life game might be relevant. Skyclave, like, leaves them a 1-1, so it's probably just, yeah, March is probably just fine. This is a cool hand. No white sources, but we do have Giver into Stoneforge. Got a Solitude. Got a Isle. They've mulliganed to 5. Oof. Alright, they keep a 5. Let's see. There's our white source. Unfortunately, they don't appear to have any Darcys or Ragavans here. So this March is, like, average. But, like, I think Skyclave would have been worse in this hand. Dreadhorde Arcanist? Okay. Sure. Sure. So I'm probably just going to kill that on turn 3. Ooh, Giver of Runes. So I think I just play out a Giver here. Yeah, then I'm just going to file the other one in. So if they have a Bolt, they get to Bolt and then, like, recast a Bolt with Dreadhorde. Okay, they've got Expressive Iteration. Hoping to hit removal, I guess. With Bauble in exile. That means they missed a land. Double Bauble, sure. Oh, the Dreadhorde just can't attack into a Giver of Runes. That's reasonable. I think this game is over. I don't know their opponent can beat double Giver of Runes. Ooh, and we drew Thalia. Do I even bother killing this? Or I think I just deploy Thalia, right? Ooh, my other option is to play Stoneforge, get Lion Sash, play Lion Sash, but I don't have the white sources, so I'm just going to play Thalia, and then I'm just going to start popping these Field of Ruins to get white sources for the Lion Sash. Okay, don't skip through your turn. Play out the land. Thank you. Yeah, so we're just going to Violin Stoneforge in their end step. I'm just getting Caldra. Like, if they have Archmage's Charm, they have Archmage's Charm. Recent lists don't have Archmage's Charm, so I feel somewhat safe. Okay, Ragavan. I really wish I could get Lion Sash here. I mean, I could get Lion Sash, but it's just correct to get Caldra. Because, yeah, they apparently no longer on Archmage's Charm, which makes Caldra just cracked, especially with 2 Giver of Runes in play. We are going to tick up 2-3. Drew another Vial, so if I feel I can't play. Yeah, okay, so I'm just going to do this. Go to combat. Get in. The nice thing is we can pitch either of these cards to the other if we need to. It'd be nice if I could pitch Vial to either of them. So our opponent's dead in 3 turns. I don't know how they can get out from under this Caldra in that time. So people have been talking about like whether Caldra is as good, like there's just too much interaction for it, like Prismatic Ending's so relevant right now, and we've got things like Lion Sash substituted for now, but this is why I've cut Batterskull, right? Because I think that the Stoneforging these things into play is a pretty rare occurrence now. They're attacking their Ragavan. We're just going to put Thalia in front of it. Was this to play a Murktide, I guess? Nope, they scoop it up. Alright. Yeah, as I was saying, I've cut the Batterskull because I kind of agree with the sentiment that like there's too many things that just answer the germ, but I think keeping a 1 of Caldra just as an out to if this kind of situation occurs is totally reasonable. So 2-0 with both matches being 2-0. Let's get to match number 3. Alright, match number 3. We've won the die roll. We will keep. This hand is cracked. We're going to keep. Opponent reveals their Lurrus. Alright, they keep their 7 as well. It's not a good sign. Our opponent has an upkeep stop on us. Play out of Isle and pass. It was an option to play the Esper Sentinel or the Giver there, but I'm just going to play the Esper Sentinel like turn and Vial and the Giver the turn after. There's every chance this Esper Sentinel isn't like super relevant anyway. I say as they crack a Scalding Tarn. Don't you thoughtseize. Don't you thoughtseize. Don't you do it! I mean, I suppose that's what I asked for, isn't it? This isn't a thoughtseize. Or did they shadow? The Skyclave's a legitimate card they might want to take. They might just want to take one of these, though. I mean, Esper Sentinel's probably annoying for them. They take the Giver of Runes, okay. So they might just spend their whole next turn killing Esper Sentinel. Oh, baby! Okay, well... That's actually probably just best possible draw, right? So now they do just spend the whole turn killing Esper Sentinel, we still draw a card. The reason I didn't Vial one in, just FYI, is because I just want this effect on the board, right? It's just going to force them to either pay or let me draw a card. So vialing it in their end step doesn't do anything, violating in their upkeep doesn't do anything, I might as well just play it. And obviously I just want to get them down as early as possible to have the most chance of drawing with them. Darcy, okay. And Ragavan. So I think their plan was to dash Ragavan and like offer a trade, probably, which I would have taken. Another 8th Vial. Okay. We've drawn lots of stuff. Just going to pass the turn back. Not interested in offering trades, but I am interested in accepting trades. Okay, I am going to trade with the Ragavan. Darcy's fine, I'll just kill it with a Skyclave next turn. The reason to trade with Ragavan there, even though Esper Sentinel is a valuable card in our deck, is that Ragavan is like probably one of the more valuable cards in their deck, and this is one of the least valuable cards in ours. Also, they can just pay around the tax once they start getting treasure. Put that next to a Ragavan. Okay, that makes sense. They are missing a land drop though, so Thoughtseize. I suppose they're letting me draw a card. Woohoo! So this probably takes Skyclave Apparition, I imagine. They surveil the Scalding Tarn into their bin. Which is weird because they've missed their 3rd land drop for a few turns now. Surely it's Skyclave Apparition opponent. Yep. Alright, we're going to take both files up. Obviously, because we want 1 on 3 because we have a Flickerwisp. And a Vial on 0 doesn't do anything, so we definitely want to take that up to 1. And we draw land. Yeah, I'm just going to pass it to our opponent there. We are yet again willing to trade Esper Sentinel for Ragavan. So like Esper Sentinel's whole upside is in making them pay so we can draw cards. And if we let this hit and get treasure, then that alone counteracts the Esper Sentinel. So we're gonna... Do I Flickerwisp the Sentinel? Probably not. It's not going to come back to the end step anyway, so they still get to ignore the tax. They probably just have another Ragavan in hand, is what I'm expecting. Expressive Iteration. Okay. I'm just going to crack Horizon Canopy here and see if I draw a better 3-drop. It's the boy. So I'm actually going to hold the Flickerwisp now, and I'm going to try and flicker the Spirited Companion to draw an extra card. Which I'm not going to get tricky with because they're this deck, like unless they play a land and leave it in untapped. So they put Unholy Heat in their bin with the Surveil. They're almost definitely just digging for land with this Expressive Iteration. So if they put a land into play and don't do anything with it, then I probably will be tricksy with it to dodge removal. Otherwise, if they're tapped out, I'm just going to straight up drop the Spirit Companion to play and straight away Flickerwisp it. Mishra's Bauble? So they missed a land drop. Okay. Okay, so we want to leave this vial on 3 because this is the vial for our Flickerwisp. And we will tick this vial up to 2. We drew a Skyclave. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is just vial in this Spirited Companion straight away. Draw a card. It's another Flickerwisp. Oh my god. We're going to flicker the Spirited Companion. And then... I think I'm just going to try and trade this Flickerwisp for this Darcy, maybe? Draw another card. It's Mirror's Call, okay. I think I'm just going to try and trade this Flickerwisp for this Darcy, and if they try and kill the Flickerwisp, I'm going to flicker the Flickerwisp. They're Thoughtseizing me. I think that means in response I'm just going to Skyclave and eat this Darcy. Right? I'll let them surveil first, I suppose. They put Mishra's Bauble in their graveyard. So do I want to kill the... Yeah, I think I just want to kill the Darcy. I'm just sick of them getting card advantage. Get out of here. And then they're going to take my Flickerwisp, which I'm kind of fine with. I mean, I'd rather they took a Mirror's Call, but we've gotten a fair bit of value out of our Spirited Companion here. We start taking up the Solitude. I don't think we do. We've got 3. We still get to have a violent 3. Yeah, I think we're going to tick up towards Solitude here. Solitude's just going to be such a powerhouse, especially if it gets to end up on the battlefield. So even though we have the Mirror's Call, we'll go for it. Caldera Complete is worst possible draw. Do we play a Mirror's Call as a land? I'm pretty sure we do, but we do not pay 3. I'm going to get in with these 2 knuckleheads and just leave the Spirited Companion back to block a dash to Ragavan. Plus this is still lethal over 2 turns. Okay, they bolted Flickerwisp. That is fine. Death Shadow is a 5/5. Okay. And a Darcy that's going to be a 3/3 flyer. Okay. Not ideal. So we'll tick vial up to 5. We'll leave the other vial on 3. We draw Stoneforge Mystic. That's pretty good. Pretty good. So, because I've already got Caldera, I'm actually going to try and juke him here. Do I get... No, I don't get Mole. I just get Lion Sash. Yeah, so I'm going to try and juke him here. I'm going to get the Lion Sash and play the Lion Sash in the hopes that they spend removal on the Lion Sash. So if they attack, I'm going to chump block the Shadow with Spirited Companion. I'm going to let the Darcy hit me because I have no choice. Then hopefully I'm going to drop Caldera and start winning the game. Put a Lion Sash on a Caldera maybe. Yep, just chump block. Come on, let us untap. Oh, hell yeah. What do we draw? What do we draw? What do we draw? White. I just want to say White Source, please. Stoneforge is interesting. Okay, Caldera down. So we have 8 power here, so I'm just going to get in and see if we kill them. If not, I'll play the Stoneforge and get a Cloudsteel Kirin to violin. So this is lethal, so they need to kill something here. Which if they kill this, they can like try and trade with this. That's what they're doing. Okay. The problem is I can't really reconfigure here. Or I can exile a card. But I think it's just better to get the Stoneforge into play. They're just not blocking. Okay. So they're on 2. Play Stoneforge. And we'll get our Cloudsteel Kirin. This thing's great. I'm going to just start equipping it just to make them deal with it. Oh, if I put it on Caldera? Oh, if I can put it on Caldera next turn. If I can draw a land and put it on Caldera, that's pretty good. I mean, they're just dead, but I just think it's cute putting the can't lose the game effect on my indestructible Caldera. Alright, they're going to combat just Darcy. Maybe they didn't realize their Darcy would have to attack. It's just Darcy. So I can violin the Cloudsteel Kirin here and trade with the Darcy. I don't think I need to. I think I'd rather, like, potentially try and equip this Kirin to the Caldera, as stupid as that seems. Okay. Activate Vial. Drop Cloudsteel Kirin. And good upkeep. The Vial's on the stack. Yada yada yada. Say no. Say no. So they have to block this with their Death Shadow. Stoneforge just wins. Okay, Stoneforge. Get Maul. Activate one of our old Stoneforges. Drop Maul. Maul up our Caldera. Alright, and attack. They need like Dress Down and removal spell here to not die. I mean, I should have attacked with Kirin as well, maybe, to have 2 lethal flyers. Alright, that's game number 1. Let's get onto the sideboarding. So, Grixis Shadow. I don't think they're running Fury, so Fortune is less good, but still good against like the Darcy Ragavan side. Sanctify is obviously really good. March is pretty good. Relic's pretty good. Don't need this other stuff. So the question is whether I need Fortunes. I definitely want these 5. And I definitely want the Relic. I think the fact that all their threats are 1-drops makes March insane. I think that also makes Skyclave really good, so I don't want to cut that. Flickwisp is potentially cuttable. Cloudsteel is fine, but potentially cuttable. Maul's pretty good. Lion Sash is really good. Spirit Companion's good. Stoneforge is good. Thalia's fine. Esper Sentinel's fine. Giver's pretty good. I still like Caldera. Shadowspear's fine. So maybe... I think Thalia's kind of necessary, isn't it? So let's cut the Flicker Wisps, because all they're really doing this matchup is like playing with their own creatures. I could see cutting the Cloudsteel Kirin. I could see cutting Shadow Spear. Trimming a Vial seems reasonable. And then like trimming a Giver, maybe? They have Drown the Lock. Maybe I don't want Fortune because they have Drown the Lock. Let me just double check that they don't run Fury, I suppose. I mean, maybe I just want Forge Tenders on the draw so they can deal with Terminal and Ragavans. Maybe that's my answer, because I don't have many good options for Terminal and Ragavans. So maybe it's play draw, right? Maybe Esper Sentinel's better on the play, because I can play at turn 1, still threaten a Ragavan or Darcy, but also threaten their spells, whereas Forge Tender on the draw. Maybe that's what I want to do. I'm going to try that. So what do I leave in? It's probably Cloudsteel Kirin, honestly. Mostly because I want to test it, but partly because, like, getting to Violet in seemed really good there. Is there any reason I just want to keep the 4th Aether Vial? Probably not. Yeah, it looks good. So yeah, on the draw, we'll go with Forge Tender, and on the play, we'll bring the Esper Sentinels back. I actually like that. This is the first time, or one of the first times, I think, I'm playing with the 2 Esper Sentinels. And I think I like them a lot. Like, that sideboarding seems really clean with the Forge Tenders in this kind of matchup. And I like finding those kind of numbers in my sideboarding. Okay, so we've got a Vial, we've got a Sanctify, we've got a Skyclave, Solitude, Spirited Companion. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's hard to think a hand looks bad when it's got this good boy in it. Good chance to get a hand haters here, good chance to take Sanctifier in back. Potential chance. Oh, Darcy, okay. Sure. Giver of Runes is a good pickup. Giver of Runes is a very good pickup, actually. There is a consideration to play Canopy in case I specifically draw a white source and decide that I want to play Sanctifier 2, which I would only do if they dealt with my Vial, which they can't do, so I'll save myself a life while I just play a Field of Ruin here. Alright, they play Delta and immediately fetch. If I can resolve this Sanctifier, I'm then only scared of Dress Down for the rest of this match. Another Darcy. Okay, that's gross. And a Bauble. This is really scary, actually. Double Darcy is going to get to sculpt their draws real good. This might be a reason that I want to play the Sanctifier on 2 to just, like, stonewall these early attacks, but I think Spirited Companion, I kind of am okay with trading it for a Darcy. Alright, we'll take File up to 1. Another Solitude's fine. Just going to play out the good boy here, which I will trade for a Darcy if given the offer. Something I should probably be looking at is, like, the fact that I can cut some number of Spirited Companions if I want to. The issue is I don't want another one. I'm so lucky, dude. All I want is to draw more good boys. Okay, Expressive Iteration. This could get them Delirium, which is scary. There is the potential that Sanctify can take away Delirium, though. Which means I'm going to hold on to vialing it in, I think, for their attacks, so I can eat them. Alright, they exiled Unholy Heat, and they played Watery Grave. That's a non-bow. Trade. So, not only did this good lad draw us a whole card, which was another good lad, but he kept these Scourges of Modern at bay. I forgot to violate my Giver of Runes. I'm a dickhead. That's fine. We don't need Giver of Runes. This basically has pro-red anyway. It's fine. I was just so excited. Excuse me, opponent. Can I have priority? Can you F6? We're in my turn. We're in my upkeep. Get off. Excuse me, opponent. I would like my turn, please. Oh, good. I get to say yes to my 8th Vial, finally. And I draw a Cave of the Frost Dragon, which is a tap land, but that is totally fine. If it wasn't, I play this Giver of Runes, but that is totally fine. Since my opponent was so scared of the first one, let's play another one. Yes! Alright. We're cooking with gas here. Are you ready for this? Am I doing it? I think I'm doing it. Now, that wasn't correct play, I don't think. But it's funny, so leave me alone in the comments, please. Worth it. My opponent is scared, and I am taking advantage of that. Excuse me? Excuse me? Not very cool of you, opponent. Not very cool of you. They've been a Colligan's command. They have 5 card types now, but that includes 1 red sorcery and 2 red instants. So I can drop them down to 3 card types here. Now that they've declared their attacks. Alright. Down to 2. Oh, it exiled the Death Shadow too. Their black creature, of course. Of course. Now, get out of here. They still got to get in for 1, mostly because I did this attack, but that's fine. Ugh, no. That wasn't kicked, right? Okay. Whatever, opponent. Turok's a joke. Yeah, I am just going to tick up this Aether Vial. Ooh. Planes. Gonna play Giver of Runes. Gonna play Stoneforge. What am I getting here? It might actually just be Cloudsteel Kirin. Because that way I don't care if the Stoneforge lives or dies. The Lion Sash may be too slow. Yeah, I'm just gonna try and kill them, I think. We're going to try killing them and see how that works out for us. Now, thankfully, our opponent's pro-white creature can't block our pro-black creature. There is an option to Skyclave the Darcy here, but I'd rather just get Cloudsteel Kirin into play. Mostly because they can kill my Skyclave and then get a blue creature that can block my Sanctifier, and that's not something I'm interested in. This 3/3 Death Shadow, though, is something I'm interested in Skyclave, but maybe I have to wait until next turn and just get this Kirin into play. The reason to get maybe Keldra with the Stoneforge would have been to deal with this Turok. What are you bolting? Giver of Runes, that makes sense. Sure. Bit with Blood Samurai in their bin with the Surveil. They've got 1 card left in hand. I think I'm just winning. Yep, they're getting it with Turok. That makes sense. If I could find a Mistress Factory here, I'd be pretty happy. I mean, I could even, if I draw a land, I could even reconfigure this onto my Sanctifier. I don't see the downside to taking this up towards Solitude, really. We lose access to the Skyclave, but we gain access to Solitudes. That's fine. That's fine. Draw a land, like we can start hardcasting Solitudes, but yeah, okay. I was gonna say I'd almost be tempted to reconfigure instead anyway. Sure. 5, yeah. The reason I did play this, so like I could have played Skyclave pre-combat to play around Dress Down, because if they dress down, then their shadow becomes a big lad and can like eat our Sanctifier. The reason I'm doing it, I'm going to play Skyclave post-combat, is so that they can't like dress down as one card. Any remove spell on the Skyclave means they can chump off the Sanctifier, so I'm just not interested in giving them that option. Alright, take out the 8/8 Shadow. We have the same attack next turn for lethal. And we can even pitch to a Solitude here if we really want to. I think this game's basically locked up though. We've got another Skyclave, we've got 2 Solitudes, we're about to have a Vial on 5. If we draw a 5th land, like, we can move this Cloudsteel Kirin onto the Sanctifier and basically never lose the game. Alright, Turok's chilling back. Good to see, good to see. Still haven't drawn anything that can deal with the Turok, but well, we have one thing to deal with the Turok currently, which is the Turok doesn't exist if my opponent doesn't exist, so that's our game plan. So all the way back to the start of the game, I had a Vial in that Giver Runes like I very much should have. The Stoneforge might have had more chance of living, I might have been able to get a Caldra, but I think this Cloudsteel Kirin's done pretty impressive work. I'm actually not disappointed that I got this instead, even though my Stoneforge is still chilling here and just not doing anything. Which makes Stoneforge Mystic actually feel more powerful if you're not needing it to survive to activate, if you're just like straight away putting the equipment creature in play. Oh, we do Relic. That's a pretty good draw. So what, I play the Relic so that they can't randomly jump this? No, I think I'm going to play the Relic regardless. My opponent skipped off the Relic. Okay, cool. So that's match number 3. We're 3-0-6-0. Let's get on to match number 4. Alrighty, match number 4. We found our first unkeepable hand. It would actually be kind of closer if there was a white land. This hand's pretty good. We'll keep this. We're going to bottom a factory, even though we'd want to keep lands. Double colorless source is pretty average, so that makes it a pretty easy card to bottom. So our opponents will play hand 8. Okay. Okay. Our opponent's on some shit. So the fact they led with this makes me think they're not Affinity, but that they're like an Ingenious Smith kind of deck. I don't know if that changes anything about my choices, but that's just my assessment so far. So we're going to lead turn 1 Vial. Turn 2, we're just going to play out the Spirited Companion, Vial in the Giver of Runes, and then see where life takes us. Nice, get in for 1. Respect. Darksteel Citadel, sure, and nothing? This could be like a Wurza deck, maybe. Vial's on 1. Flick Wisp is pretty cool. Play the doggo. What are they doing? That's pretty heckin' rude, opponent. I mean, I think that's the last kind of card you would want to spend a counterspell on, so that's fine. Just a shame, because I could have vialed him in and I chose not to. They're just chilling. This Vial's going to get a frickin' workout. I'm going to... Oh, no, I'm not going to cast Flick. I'm going to take out their Seachrome Coast. Ooh, fancy, fancy, opponent. Now I'm just going to chill. I could attack, but I think this Giver's just going to keep the Memnite from attacking. That seems more relevant right now. Okay. Didn't exactly take them off white mana. Portable Hole, it's going to target the Aether Vial, probably. Yep. That is fine. I'm going to play Skyclave Apparition. Hope they don't have another counterspell. Okay. Take out the Portable Hole. Get our Vial back. We're just going to chill and hopefully get a second Giver of Runes into play. Well, opponent's got 2 cards left in hand and not much on the board. Eighth Spellbomb is fine. All I can really do is bounce the Giver. The destroying card? Yeah, sure. Stoneforge Mystic, hey. That is fine. What you gonna get? They get Caldra? That's greedy, opponent. I suppose they have 6 mana. Jesus, okay. So I'm gonna let them put the Caldra into play and I'm gonna Flick Wisp the Germ, I think. And they can just equip it. Yeah, I think I just need to deal with the Stone Forge. Another Giver of Runes, hey? So if I attack, they can just double block. If they double block, I just get to trade with this. Which is kind of what I want to do anyway. I can just Giver of Runes. Yeah, it's fine. Alright, Flicker Wisp. Flicker this. So they get a 1-1 idiot. I'll play another Giver. And I'm about to have 3 Giver of Runes in play. Take out Stoneforge. Oh. So they can just hardcast a Keldra now. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Jeez. Yep. So I'll block with a Skyclave. Give it Pro Black. Just so I only take 3. I was meant to violently give it there. That was a mistake. Esper Sentinel. Doesn't really do anything too exciting, but I'll play it anyway. Play out the 3rd Giver. And I'm just going to start getting with the Factory, I suppose. So I could get in with... I'm definitely getting with Flickwisp as well. I could get in with Skyclave. I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to get in with a bunch. Because my plan for blocking is to block with the 2 Givers and protect each other. If I'd vialed in the other Giver, I could have, you know, blocked with all 3 and done a little protection chain. Saga's going to be annoying. They are on 9. Okay, block, block. Okay, you give you Pro Black. And you give you Pro Black. I will take 1 damage. Okay, my opponent has their own Esper Sentinel. So yeah, these constructs are going to be a pain, but they're dead in 3 turns to Flicker Wisp, so that's even better. Yeah, play Shadow Spear. I will pay for their Esper Sentinel. Equip to Flicker Wisp. They're still... Hold on. Yeah, it's still dead in 3 turns, but I can potentially get in with the Skyclave next turn by using the Givers to give it like protection from anything relevant. Any of their relevant colours. This is an example where Batterskull just wouldn't have been as good as this. I can actually kill the Keldra next turn, which is interesting. Or I could have if I'd held up mana for this. Yep, they make it 7/7. They get to make another thing. This thing's going to get huge. They get to tutor a thing. The Spell Bomb's already gone, which I'm assuming is a one-of, so they could get, what, like, Pithing Needle. They get Shadow Spear and put on the construct. That's pretty good. Yeah, that's Shadow Spear is a pretty good drop. Pretty good thing to get off the Saga, huh? Pretty good. Yeah, we'll just all block here. You can give you Pro Black. You can give you Pro Black. And then you can give you Pro Black. Oh, I was meant to give Pro Colorless. I'm so dumb. Leaving the vial. Jeez, I just autopiloted Pro Black there. Solitude's not quite good enough here. Yeah, it's just game. Thankfully, we should do a lot better after sideboarding here. So Relic Water's obviously very good. Python Needle's really good. And March of Otherworldly Light's really good. So that's what we want to bring in. Solitude's potentially fine. Skyclaves seem good. Flickers seem fine. Thalias are probably too slow. Esper Sentinels are probably not... It's probably not the matchup for them. And then it's like, do I trim a vial or do I trim one of my equipment? I mean, all of them do a lot of good stuff, right? Like, I don't think there's any way for my opponent to deal with this so I reconfigure this, right? If I put on the right creature. It's a 3/2 fly. Maybe it's just not good enough. Maul's good, flying's good, Shadow Spear's good. So I could trim a vial is the other option. Or a giver? It might just be trim a giver. Yeah, let's try that. I think like 1 giver's plenty in this kind of matchup. And they obviously don't have the heat removal, so it's like it's good at winning the board stalls, but that's about it. Yeah, we can keep this. Gonna lead White Sauce on turn 1 in case we want a Relic Water on 2 for some reason. Opponent mulligans to 6, that's good for us. Alright, planes and go. Opponent just has Flooded Strand and pass. Alright, I'm gonna force them to have it here. I'm gonna Stoneforge getting Keldra. Yeah, the other equipment doesn't look like it's doing much at this point in the game, so we'll just straight up grab Keldra. Because I think they're more likely to have something like Portable Hull, which the Relic Water just punishes super hard. Their own Stoneforge, that's fine. Got Relic Waters to take down their Keldra. Yep, battle all the Keldras. Or I could Skyclave right now. I think I'm just gonna get my Keldra down. Because whatever, I'm gonna race their Keldra. Like, if they had like a Shadow Spear or something, sure. But like, they can't do it right away, so... It's gonna be the germ. Yep, okay. So that was a pretty good portable hole for them. That's annoying. Right, animate factory. We're gonna play Relic Water. Take away Keldra. Say yes. And then we'll just get in for 3. And hopefully we're winning this race. Ooh, looks like they might have nothing. Well, we have another Mistress Factory. So I think I can afford to field everyone them here. I just don't know that it does anything. I don't think it really does, except like get us white mana for a potential Lion Sash in the future. So I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to leave up Relic Water activation. There is a concern that they Stoneforge in something here and block the Relic Water, but we shall see. Yep. What do you got? Surely you don't have Battleskull on that deck opponent. Nettle Cyst? Okay. How big is that? 3/3. So it's going to need our Relic Water probably. Yeah, nothing we can do about that. I mean, what I could have done is not attack, but I really want to just try and finish them off here. Alright, so let's cast our Relic Water, take the Keldra away once again. Alright, so they're on 7, so we're potentially closing in here. Alright, so that grows their Nettle Cyst. Ugh, Thoughtcast. God, really? Prismatic ending? Yeah, I was going to say, surely they get in with the Nettle Cyst here. It's gross. And they've got an Esper Sentinel as well. Okay. Well, that's a good draw. Unfortunately, I don't have the white mana to cast both of these things. So I'm just going to have to cast Relic Water. Take out the Keldra once again. And I think get in with both Mistress Factories. Or maybe just the one. Maybe a 3/3 is good enough. They probably just chump block. So I attack with both. I definitely get in for 2. They go to 5. Next turn I can animate Cave of the Frost Dragon. So if they don't block, I can kill them next turn with Cave. I think that's a reason to attack with both. They just take it. That's good for us. So I just have to hope they don't draw away to kill Relic Water. That was the riskiest part, right? Like I could have left the factory back to potentially block. No, I'm just saying if the Keldra comes back. So I'm gonna like chump block the Nettle Cyst here. Stoneforge will chump block the Nettle Cyst, and then I'll get in for lethal with Cave next turn, hopefully. So some of my plays earlier in this game were loose and were probably misplays, but they got in for more damage and led us to this line here, I think. Okay, Thought Monitor means that Cave is not a lethal line anymore. And they potentially just draw away to kill the Relic Water now. Maybe they miss the Cave and they tap the Thought Monitor for mana with the Drum because it's summoning sick. It's tough because I have to do something. I can't just sit here because the longer the game goes, the better it is for them. Almost definitely. Oh my god, Thoughtcast, come on. So yeah, I don't think this is a Wurza deck like I initially thought. It's 8 cast. But that just means it has 8 Thoughtcast effects in it, right? I don't think it like denotes a particular archetype, although it's probably going to become an archetype pretty soon with the new cards from Kamigawa. But yeah, it looks like kind of like a blue-white control-y mid-rangey deck. It looks really good. So the line I just noticed is that I can equip Keldra next turn. I can play my 7th land and equip it to like the Relic Water. Then it becomes a 7/7. Then Nelson just gets a block though, and I have to take damage off my canopies and put myself to 2. So it depends how they attack, right? Because I go 7, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, they've got enough blockers. Yeah, so I definitely just have to chump block with Stoneforge here. I can't afford to block with this and give them their Keldra back. Play a tap land. Pithing Needle. This is almost definitely naming Keldra, I'd imagine. Maybe they've noticed the cave and they're going to name Cave of the Frost Dragon. Okay, so they saw my Cave of the Frost Dragon line. Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp. So that can flicker my Keldra and give me a Keldra again. 3. I could go to 2 and also play the Skyclave and eat the Nettle Cyst. I could get in with 2 factories. Get in with 2 factories. Still have to put myself to get in with 1 factory. Get in with 1 factory looks good. So if I get in with 1 factory, I'll use the other one to pump. 1 factory, use the other one to pump, and then cast Flicker Wisp. Yeah. Take 1 damage. Yeah. Yeah, this is the line. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. They have to block, because otherwise it's lethal. So they probably just throw away Esper Sentinel, but then I don't have to pump, so I don't have to take damage. They could double up with Stoneforge and Sentinel. That might force me to pump. Okay, I don't have to pump, that's good. So I could hurt myself to potentially be able to hurt myself to animate Factory, which only matters if they kill my Relic Water. That doesn't even matter if they kill my Relic Water then. They've got 3 cards in hand. So I can hurt myself for 1, hurt myself for 3. I'm just like super dead to a Shadow Spear regardless. Maybe I just need to make sure I'm not dead to this Thought Monitor if they have an answer for my Flicker Wisp. Okay. I might need to tap the canopies later, so I'm just going to save the life here. It's a tough call. Because, yeah, if I tap a canopy there, I can hold up a Mishra's Factory as a blocker. Because they could have multiple things going on here. They've got 3 cards in hand, 4 cards in hand now. With the potential to draw more Thoughtcasters, draw into more interaction. Like, a Prismatic Ending's really bad for me here, too. I suppose Prismatic Ending was always bad for me, because they just kill Relic Water. I don't even care about the Caldra so much right now. It's just a good blocker. I think if I get through to next turn with, like, Flick Wisp or Caldra, I think I'm winning the game. Wow, they brought in Thieving Skydiver. That can't steal anything, right? Yeah, they just didn't kick it. Okay. But it is a flyer. I don't think I really care, though. I suppose it's just a 2-1. Alright, they put their Nettle Cyst on the Thought Monitor and passed the turn and played a new Nettle Cyst. They Stoneforge to put a Nettle Cyst into play. Sorry, I F6 because my opponent just spent like 3 minutes tanking. So they're on 3. They've got 3 blockers. If I animate 2 factories, they're dead. What am I missing? Nothing? I made 2 factories that, well, no matter what they block, I'm getting it for like 3 damage. I could play Skyclave beforehand just to be safe, but I don't think I need to. So they literally have 3 blockers, right? If I miss something, I can Skyclave post-combat, I suppose. Let's just attack with all. Yep, they scoop it up. Alright, game number 3. We both have less than 10 minutes on the clock. Is there anything I want to change? Is there a consideration to bring that Giver of Runes back in for some reason? Do I like it more than the Eighth of Isle or not, I suppose? Maybe on the draw I like to give them more? Yeah, I suppose I do. They have counter spells. I was going to say, because they have like prismatic endings and stuff, but they have counter spells, so I definitely want the Eighth of Isles. Alright, so they get to play first. Whoa. There's no hate, but we do have Solitude, Stoneforge, Lion Sash. Lion Sash has got to be pretty good here, right? I don't think mulliganing does... They're pretty mulligan. I don't think mulliganing does much for me. Worth noting, I only have 2 white tosses for Lion Sash. Yeah, I don't know what I'm looking for here, so let's just say that's good enough. We've got to be fast. We've got 2 Mishra's Factories, so... Alright, they've got a turn 1 drum. Alright, we're just going to play a factory and pass. So real reason to play a white source. Because we'd have to draw a double white tail that we'd want to play and a better white source canopy, I think. Okay, that's annoying. That's annoying. So we're going to use the Solitude on the Caldra Gem. Probably pitching Lion Sash. Stoneforge. Or maybe I just want to take out the Stoneforge, I think. So we'll get Caldra. Yeah, I think we just meant to pitch Lion Sash. Alright, their Stoneforge is gone. They still have an Urza Saga, which is annoying. There's not much I can do about that. I'm just going to put a Caldra into play and hope that's good enough. They did have to mulligan to 6, so... Ooh, that's really good, opponent. Nicely done. Okay, so I'm going to play the Skyclave, because it's like playing a Stoneforge Mystic. What's my board like? Anyone good? I think I just want Cloudsteel Kirin as a threat. Right, they're floating around with Saga. They're almost definitely having to get Needle for Stoneforge here. Which I'm kind of okay with, because it also stops their future Stoneforge from being able to play their Caldra. They are a Wurza deck, okay. And there's the Ingenious Smith, okay. So it is the kind of, yeah, blue-white artifact mid-range deck I thought it was, with, yeah, all the Thoughtcast effects, the Urzas, the Ingenious Smiths. And they found a portable hole, okay. But they haven't stopped our Stoneforge, so we're going to get to put Caldra into play. I can only do one thing here, so I think I'm going to Field of Ruin. Maybe that's wrong, I can leave Factory back. No, I am going to Field of Ruin them. Just to make the most out of my mana, get some more white sources. Did they just fail to find? Oh my god. Well, we are going to get out more of the Skyclaves. See, I realized how dumb I sounded just there before, where I was like, oh, they didn't do a low Stoneforge, I can play Caldra. Of course, that's what the Needle's doing, which is why I just played out the second Stoneforge there. Their board is huge, and that is scary, but I think we can potentially come back from it. We didn't give them a really good target for their portable hole. It just has to take a Stoneforge here. We really just need to get these constructs shrunk a bit. Another portable hole? Okay. Alright, I'm going to trade Skyclave for the Ingenious Smith. That thing's just going to keep growing, and they only get a 1-1 for this, so that's a really good trade for us. Alright, Giver of Runes was a good draw. The question is whether we want to use a factory. I don't think we do. Like, I don't think we want to be able to activate a factory. I think getting Give It Down's more important here. We are on 4. So I think we're just dead. That's just us dead. I didn't realize how big these things had gotten. That's why they attacked that way, because I kind of probably was meant to chump block there. Okay, they're playing their Caldera. That's the game. Okay. So match number 4 was a bust. Let's get on to match number 5. We get to be on the play for match number 5. That's pretty cool. This hand's bad. I mean, it's not bad, like but we need to draw a land, but also like our spells aren't like crazy. We can Stoneforge, find a Caldera or a Lion Sash or whatever, but we just have bigger upside hands. This hand's pretty good. We'll keep this. We'll bottom second Thalia. Double Field of Ruin, like double color source isn't great, but like because it's Field of Ruin specifically, it turned into a white source. So we could have potentially kept the second Thalia in case the first one died, but there's a chance that Thalia is irrelevant in the matchup. So if Thalia is good, we already have one. If Thalia is bad, having 2 would, after having already bundled, would probably cost us. My opponent leads Mishra's Bauble. They look at my top cards, they're not getting information for their own fetch, which means either they definitely want to play their 1-drop or they have no 1-drop. So this could be like a Thoughtseize, and they were just getting information for their Thoughtseize with Mishra's Bauble. Okay, well, just going to Unholy Heat my Giver of Runes. Also fine. They have another Bauble, so they're probably going to try and check out my next card as well. Eighth of Isle's a rough one. It's tough because next turn I could like Field of Ruin to get a land to play the Vial, but I won't be able to cast it off a single mana like normal because I'll have the Thalia in play. Or like, do I want to play out the Thalia? I think I just want to get the Vial into play. It's such a rough card to be specifically on the top of my deck. Because yeah, it gives us a really tough choice. But next time we're just going to hardcast this Thalia. Okay, so our opponent's Jund Sagavan then. Which makes this Thalia look less good, which makes Field of Ruin look less good. Oh, Give of Ruin's a good pull off the top. Okay, play Thalia, pass turn. So Jund Sagavan's been like I forgot it could do that. That's fine. It's been a pretty good matchup for us in the Arbiter build. This build, probably not so much. It's actually still fine though. It's just going to be a new Ren. A Dash Ragavan. Okay, I'm going to offer the trade with Giver of Runes. They have the Fatal Push? They have the Fatal Push. Okay. It's not necessarily over, like, yeah, Ragavan can hit just unplayable nonsense off the top of our deck. But it's very close to done. Like, this Flicker Wisp isn't... Don't even have Flicker Wisp. I was going to say, it's not even that good because they have Ren and 6. I need to draw something really good really soon. Like, chain some Doggos, maybe. Flicker Wisp. Just take them off their red source. Force them to kind of fetch back into it. Get a double white. Yeah, not a great matchup to mull to 6. And then have, like, I don't know, just the sequence of draws we had. I don't think there was, like, I could have waited to put the Thalia until after I had a Giver of Runes, but then, like, I'm not necessarily wanting to use Giver of Runes to protect a Thalia from a Ren ping. They'll just use a removal spell in response. They hit Mishra's Factory with Ragavan. Okay, let's tick Vial up to 3. Draw something? Well, that is something. Yeah, let's just play at the Skyclave and take out Red and 6. So I could have held it and like tried to Flicker Wisp to like deal with the Ragavan as well. But I'm just gonna try and trade with the Ragavan. Okay, Unholy Heat. So Flicker does nothing. Because they have no other permanents for me to target with, so I'm just gonna let that happen. They dash in Ragavan. God. So if they dash in Ragavan, I'm gonna flicker this out and try and like trade with it. They have the hand hate, so I'm just going to do this, get rid of this. F6. They have 4 cards in hand, so I have no cards in hand. They have... I suppose they have nothing relevant in play, but they've got Lurrus in the Companion Zone. They have Unholy Heat. They're going to dash Ragavan here, probably. Yep. And they hit Esposito, one of the few cards in a deck that they're probably going to want to play. Okay. I mean, at least if I get Flicker Wisp, I get to flicker this. I am going to tick this up because I want Solitude to become a good top deck. I guess I just take them off this red source again. Alright, they get another red source, that's fine. Yep, Rayman dashes in yet again. And they've only got 2 cards in hand now and we're on a higher life total. It's about to even out. Maybe it's not so bad. They have nothing they can find with Stoneforge, but it's still annoying that they find stuff. I mean, yeah, I was gonna say, surely they just play it as a 1/2. They have Shadow Spear. That's gross. They buy Lurrus. Wow, they have Shadow Spear. Of course they do. They're a Saga deck. That's gross. Okay, we drew Thalia. Play that. Pass turn. Shadow Spear on this would be annoying. Shadow Spear on Ragavan would be fine. It's gonna be Lurrus. Yeah. Yeah, they bobble us. This is where we're gonna start losing now they've got a Lurrus play. We need to find an answer to Lurrus straight away. If they've removed my Thalia, I'm in trouble. Okay, they're the Shadow Spear. At least the Thalia kind of gets to Stonewall until they can equip the Shadow Spear. Okay, not putting a counter on the Vial. We draw Skyclave. Okay. That just has to take out Lurrus, right? Yeah, I can't let him keep recurring baubles. Alright, we chilling. Yep. I'm just going to take this. No point blocking. They've still got Ragavan. Yep, they're playing it out here. Moving the Shadow Spear to the Esper Sentinel. That makes a lot of sense. Alright, Field of Ruins. Pretty garbage. Yeah, take them off a red source again. So this should be improving our top decks a decent amount. They just failed to find, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they're just going to keep spending mana moving this Shadow Spear around. I'm fine with that. Fatal Push. Well, that's annoying. Shadow Spear onto Ragavan? Okay. I am going to trade with Ragavan. Oh, he's still going to trigger because it tramples. That's kind of gross. Alright, come on. I need to draw something good eventually. That's a pretty good one. Alright, good follow-up. I think I'm just going to get Lion Sash here. Yeah. So we get to resolve this Lion Sash and start activating it. It's going to be pretty good. Yep, just going to take that. Leaves you dead the Lightning Bolt, but whatever. Come on, Inquisition for my Lion Sash. That's rude. That's not the draw I wanted. Well, I guess we play it. We're technically not... No, we are technically not. Whatever, let's go to game number 2. We get the sideboard in. Some Sanctifiers. Forge Tenders are a maybe. Relic's going to be good. Needle's going to be good. Marches might be fine because they are a Saga deck. Sword's bad. Solitude's average. Thalia's whatever. Gibbs fine. Sentinel's fine. Definitely want to trim a Vial. Actually, I probably just, because they have Ren, I probably just want to cut these. And then I could, like, cut Flicker Wisps, maybe. Let's go to equipment. Keldra. Good. Maul. Good. Cloudsteel's cuttable. Shadow Spear's fine. Sash is good. So I could, like, cut the Esper Sentinels. I don't hate cutting the Esper Sentinels. It's either that or cutting, like, some Flicker Wisps. It's probably just the Flicker Wisps, I suppose. No, they got more upside than Esper Sentinel. Let's just cut the Esper Sentinels. Alright, let's go with that. I mean, maybe I could just cut all the Flicker Wisps and brought in Baron and Forge Tenders. Maybe that's what I'll do for game 3. Yeah, I can keep this. I need a second white source for the Sanctifier, but otherwise I'm pretty happy. Let's play turn 1 Relic, which is cool. Just get rid of their land with our Relic while we can. So this is probably going to take Sanctifier. It almost definitely has to take Sanctifier, I think. So I think we want to play Stoneforge just to optimize, like, playing around Ren. So I don't think I'm going to get Keldra. Because if they have any remove spell, I'm just in trouble. So what's the next best fair one? Probably Maul. Potentially still Lion Sash. We don't have a lot of white sources though. Let's just get Maul. And pass. Okay, is this going to be a Ren? No? Black mana? More hand hate? Okay. If this takes Spirited Companion, I'm going to be very sad and disappointed. Wow, opponent. Another hand hate? No? Fatal Push. Okay. Wow. That's pretty bloody rude. Take him off red, I suppose. Kind of wish this was Lion Sash now. Oh, they're actually exiling their lands to my Relic. That's interesting. I assumed they would, like, want to keep their lands for future Ren and 6s. Tarmogoyf, that's funny. Darcy, okay. It's the Lion Sash. Alright, I'm going to take out Urza Saga here. I should not have tapped Mistress Factory, but it's fine. That's probably not. I should have animated Mistress Factory, like blocked, activate Relic, something like that. Yeah, we just pass them. I could play the Lion Sash, but I'm going to hold up Relic activation instead. Right, popping Relic. Not ideal considering the Lion Sash might be coming down next turn. But they're probably going to try and fill the grave again because of these, and they're probably going to get to fill it because of this idiot. Okay, they're by Lurrus. Ooh, Sanctifying Deck, that's good. So I'm going to play that out, and I'm going to play the Lion Sash. What is this? E for 2? Okay. As long as they don't have a land to pop straight away, we're pretty good. Oh, there's the land. Okay. Alright, they're getting with their Darcy. That's pretty rough. So I could have Flick Wisped the explosives to reset it if they hadn't got to use it there. So I think I'm just gonna play Solitude, but I'm probably gonna let them attack first. Just see what they do. So yeah, Flick Wisp could have flickered the explosives, which would have made it come back in with 0 counters. They've been their Inquisition, trying to give their Darcy flying. Come on, play another creature pre-combat. You're no fun opponent. Alright, let's just get Solitude into play. Get rid of Darcy. Alright, our opponent has Unholy Heat in response to kill our Solitude. That's fine. They're just doing that so they get the Surveil. Alright, they got post-combat. Ah, the Lurrus, of course. And the Bauble, sure. Aether Vial's not the best. Okay, play the Flick Wisp. We're going to flicker the Factory. I shouldn't have tapped the Factory because now it'll have Summon Sickness, so I can't tap it to pump itself. But this will just keep our opponent from being able to attack with their Lurrus. Aether Vial's a pretty average draw, but whatever. I've just been waiting to have a creature in play to play that Maul. You just take it away from me, opponent. You're just playing a million Mishra's Baubles. Tarmogoyf, sure. It is once again large, even though I've played a million different Grave Hate things. Alright, let's draw a card. We need something here. That's pretty good. Question is what I kill with it. Alright, so we'll play that tapped. So I can kill Saga. What's that cost? I can kill Lurrus. I probably just have to kill Lurrus. I know I can do it at instant speed, but I think I just have to do it here. Just do that. Alright. That's interesting to cast on Magic Online, to say the least. Cave of the Frost Dragon at least means that drawing lands isn't bad. I still need to just deal with these Tarmogoyfs, so I need to find like my 3rd Sanctifier, I think. I'm just going to take this. Far out, they found the 3 other Tarmogoyfs. I need an Engineering Explosives now. Not that I run them. Mistress Factory, that buys me a turn. But I just can't come back. No, that's game. Oh well, an unfortunate end to the league, but we did still get a positive result, so let's go to the post-league wrap-up. Alright, so 3-2 overall, pretty decent result. As far as the list, I mean, it felt really good. Like, even the matches that we lost, I think, were pretty winnable. I think maybe mulliganing differently, sideboarding differently, I don't know. They were very close. I don't think we would be wrong to have thought we stood a chance of winning them. As for the cards, I love Cave of the Frost Dragon, but it did come in tapped more often than we would like now. Like, it coming in tapped later in the game is actually a real cost now, because we want to do things like activate our Lion Sash and everything. Field of Ruin actually performed pretty well. There are a lot of games where it was irrelevant, but it still did something, you know, whereas Ghost Quarter would have been totally irrelevant. Mishra's Factories are very good here. I was actually very impressed with my Mishra's Factories. Horizon Canopies dealt us damage more often than they drew us cards, but the drawing cards were still pretty relevant. We didn't see Eiganjo, unfortunately. This Eiganjo is a completely irrelevant card. This did nothing except to be a tap land, but, you know, the upside is obvious. Esper was actually pretty good. I liked the 2 of, that was kind of a cool number. Shadowspear overall was probably better than Batterskull. I think there's still consideration for Batterskull, but definitely did pretty alright. Spirit Companion was fantastic. It's just very free. I don't know what to say about it. Like, it felt really, really, really good. Which, like, it's not like going to win games or anything, but like, it's just a good card. Like, it just fits nicely in the deck. Thalia actually performed okay, but that's like, you know, there were some games where she was pretty relevant, but even then drawing a second one would have been pretty bad, and there were some games where she was pretty irrelevant. So Lion Sash didn't do much this league, but it didn't have to, if that makes sense. Like, I suppose in that last match against John Sagavan, holding on to it and playing it later would have actually gotten to eat the graveyards. I was just trying to be mana efficient, playing my Sanctifier back and my Lion Sash, and my opponent had their engineered explosives, so I got massively punished. But like, I don't think I could afford to like slow roll there, which maybe I was wrong. Maybe I could have just played like Lion Sash and Help Activation, but I really wanted to play the Sanctify when I drew it, so it's what it is. Happy to have Maul back. I am a huge fan of Maul. It's probably not necessary, but I just love it. Skyclave, yet again, like, I keep finding, like, this is why this was a card I tried cutting a few leagues back in order to make room for more stuff. I tried cutting them entirely. I think they're pretty necessary, but I think 3 is a pretty okay number. There are a lot of matches there, like the fair matches where like you're wanting to have removal to like break even. Like this doesn't break even because they end up getting something out of it. The something they get normally is very good, but I think 3 is a good number here. Cloudsteel Kirin actually overperformed, honestly. Like, if nothing else, just being able to play a Stoneforge and have a 3-drop and a 2-drop to Violin that you can tutor for with her is actually not to be underrated. This thing just gave us lethal flying a lot of times. The reconfigure was a consideration in match 1 against Belcher, but we ended up not needing it. Yeah, actually very surprised at how impressive this thing was. And again, like Caldera is cuttable, but it actually did really, really well this league as well, I think. The affinity matchup, if they hadn't been able to like prismatic ending it and stuff, it would have been game ending. Obviously, like that is part of the weakness of Caldera, is prismatic ending is really good, but like none of our equipment would have come close, so very, very good. Sideboard, Fortune is still great against Fury, fine against Ragavans. Drowns didn't need to come in, we didn't invest in matchups. Relic Waters, very impressive. The one consideration is that Kataki might have been better in some of those matchups. My reasoning for cutting Kataki, which I forgot to mention at the start, was that we've got like a lot of artifacts that are wanting to stay in play, especially like having Esper Sentinels as well. So I thought Kataki had a real cost for us, which it does. So I don't think it's worth it. Six Fire's still really good. I'm liking 3 copies still. I think that's very good numbers. March of Otherworldly Light was kind of... We brought it in a decent amount. We actually only cast it once, and it was actually really good there. Like, we would have taken 20 of these if we could at that point in the game. But, yeah, I think... I don't know what to think of this yet. I just haven't got enough testing. Maybe I need to test it in the main deck to get a real feel for it. But it seems fine as like sideboard removal. Seems better than what we've had in the past, you know, with like Declaration in Stone or Winds of Abandon or a lot of these other things. I think this is the go-to extra removal spell now. I think it's probably better than Path. It's better than Prismatic Ending and Mono White, but I mean, you know, we're not running Prismatic Ending, so it being better doesn't mean it's good enough to run, but I think it's close. I think like I like it as a sideboard inclusion at the very least. The other option was even Mind Sensor, which like wouldn't have helped in the matchups we lost. This was better in the matchups where we lost. So, which I think is something to think about, right? Is like the matchups we lost were against the blue-white like 8 cast were Urza Genius Smith mid-range deck, which I think we've actually got a lot of game against. You know, we've got Relic Waters, we've got the Marches, which are pretty good, and like I don't know, I think we grind pretty well. Like, we're a pretty grindy mid-range deck. It's just that every time we had Caldera, they had Caldera, and they always had an answer for our Caldera, and their answer was just better. Like, they had prismatic endings and portable holes, whereas I kept finding, like, Skyclave apparitions. Even, like, finding Flickers to flicker the Germ would have been fine, except, like, they randomly had 7 mana that one game. I don't know. Whereas, like, March would be really good there. Just, like, March, get rid of the Germ. And our last 2 slots, the Relic, pretty good. Would have actually preferred to have top decked it rather than had an opener in that last game against Jund Sagavan. Maybe I just popped it too early, I don't know, but they were getting a lot of value out of their graveyard, so it felt fine to pop it there. I did draw into more Grave Hate. They just had the perfect answer and I played into their answer, which like maybe that is something, is like I should have known that the way I lose there was to exactly engineer explosives, considering I had my pro black pro red creature out, so maybe I just play around EE. Python Needle is also very good. I much prefer having this to having Phyrexian Revoker. Obviously revoking in Violin, but I think I like this. And again, like this means that this is very easily ported into a Saga deck. Like you can just easily swap these factories for Sagas if that's what you want to do, which is probably what I'll test in paper at some point. Yeah, we will open our one chesty that we won for going 3-2. See what we get. Hopefully some fancy new cards. Elvish Piper, cool card, but not necessarily what we're after. So thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the league. any criticisms or like any thoughts on the league or like my plays, or especially in the losses there, would be interesting. I mean, we were very good at the start, right? 3-0, 6-0, like just not dropping a game for the first 3 matches, and then the last two just kind of just getting ground out a little there in the end. But yeah, feel free to leave a comment. I'll be leaving the link to my massive Mono White 60 card Death and Taxes primer in the description again, so feel free to check that out. I will be updating it soon with information on the Kamigawa cards and what I think of them. Obviously, I want to get in some testing first before I, make any bold statements there. But yeah, let us know. And as always, thank you for watching. And until next time, bye-sy.